Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back to Noire. So we've hit a second fire case and our bodies were staged then burned and our partner's out here I think vomiting. So we're gonna start with the cutscene, I think of that. He seems to have some personal relation.
Something finally got to you.
You want my help, pretty boy? You got it. You keep riding me and you won't be pretty much longer.
We can get this guy, Herschel.
You think you've seen everything, Phelps? I was with the 2nd Marines at Bella Wood. The things that went on in that farmhouse. My own guys on fire, screaming for a way out.
Oh, so he's thinking about seeing his own guys getting burnt.
This guy. There's gonna be no photos and no citations. We're gonna kill this miserable fuck. End of story. You getting this?
So yet again we have a
the
corrupt.
list from the travel agent?
Sure.
The Morellis were winners too. Their name was on that list.
Christ. We should take a look around.
That was evidence from the previous case.
I'll go across the street.
Okay, I'll try this side.
So
I haven't done this for years.
You don't look like a fireman, son.
So sorry about coughing. Oddly appropriate near fire. Let's see how far can I walk away. And the music fades out. Well, all of this is still the investigation area. Yet our fourth partner, or third partner maybe, who's corrupt. I kind of get how he's got this righteous indignation. Wow, this house is also probably not safe to be in either. Just structurally speaking. This guy wants whoever committed this fire to be murdered without due trial, which is not justice, just an attempt at revenge for something that wasn't even perpetrated against you.
LAPD.
Personally.
Can you tell me anything about the fire next door?
Terrible luck. Imagine after having won that weekend away.
What's your name, sir?
Foreman.
We already knew
Dudley
that
Foreman.
because of the cutscene playing in the wrong order, really.
Did you see or hear anything that might have...
Look, we were asleep when we heard the explosion.
That is a doubt.
You didn't like Morelli.
I got 5
Some neighbors you
intuition
get along
points.
with, some you don't. Guess they should have sold up.
What do you mean?
They're knocking down all these old houses and building a new subdivision for GIs. Morelli was being difficult.
You said someone is knocking these houses down?
Elysian Fields. You must know them. Their billboards, that Monroe character beaming down at you. We've had an offer for the house.
Did the Morellis want to sell?
I don't know.
I doubt that.
Whatever you thought of Morelli, his whole family is dead. They couldn't have all deserved that. I want you to help me here, Foreman.
Morelli was pig-headed. He built the house himself. He didn't want to sell. Stubborn fool was ruining it for all of us.
You said the Morellis had won a weekend away to Catalina Island?
Yeah, that's right. First thing I thought after the explosion was, thank goodness they was away. Then I find out they was still in there.
Who was running the competition?
What? I don't know.
I'm going to say true.
You didn't enter yourself?
I'd already agreed to sell. The competition was an incentive for those who were still thinking about it.
Interesting. We've been looking at shoes. We haven't. Actually, we haven't looked at shoes in probably about 10 hours. What would I find on shoes anyways, though? Let's be honest. Not much. We could cheat the game and try to be more just quick about it and see if we've already found all the clues. Or we can take it a little bit slower and see if we find something. Apparently the investigation area has expanded far to this house. Let's look. Oh, there is something right here. Cigarettes and footprints.
Someone was keeping watch. Looks like they were here for quite a while. Brand looks distinctive. Whoever he was wearing boondockers. I would know that imprint anywhere.
Interesting. So again, we looked at the shoes of the guy and he said boondockers they ain't, and I just thought that meant something that I didn't understand because it's from the 40s, and it turns out it has to do with this this clue that we hadn't found. Well, I can't even leave, so there must be more to find.
I knew it wasn't safe around here anymore.
I suppose now would have to be the time, wouldn't it? I would have to use my intuition point to see if I will get any more intuition points. And this might blow our chances as far as ending the game with all of the intuition points. Well, it says show all clues, and I can't even do it. So there are no clues. I must just need to talk to somebody. Maybe I'd go back and talk to the guy again after finding that extra bit of evidence. Yes, there is one more question.
Did you see anyone hanging around the Morelli's home prior to the explosion?
Nope. Can't say as I was looking out, though.
Let's doubt that.
You sure, Mr. Foreman? There are signs of someone hanging around over there by the fence.
Hey, now that you come to think of it, there was a guy. Kind of tall. Skinny, though.
Anything else?
Orange lumber jacket, beat-up hat, and no hair. I thought he was the pest exterminator guy who was working around here the last few days. But that guy had hair.
Thanks for your time, Mr.
Interesting.
Foreman.
Sure. Hey, if you're interested, I have one of those
Smoking
competition
man.
flyers in the kitchen. I could get it for you if you like.
That would be great.
Why did he have one of the flyers?
Any luck, Cole?
A couple of things. What did you pick up?
Folded piece of paper. Looks complicated.
Japanese call it origami. Can I take a look?
Sure.
I didn't think we'd actually find any of these as clues.
Paper crane. There's a legend about them. You fold 1,000 of these and you get a wish.
Hey, don't break it.
I'm not. I'm unfolding it. It looks like a waybill or a flyer.
For what?
For Elysian Fields developments.
This face of the guy on the poster here, Leland Monroe, looks a lot like the car dealer that we dealt with a long time ago.
Oh, I see you already have one.
When did the flyer arrive in your mailbox?
They've been arriving for weeks. This one was in the mailbox when I got home from work yesterday afternoon.
So even though this guy had agreed to sell, they still were probably planning on burning down his house as just in case this guy didn't sell. This isn't a great con, honestly. Burning down houses over and over again. You kind of needed to get rid of people in different ways different modus operandi.
I need an address for a property developer. Elysian Fields Developments.
One moment, detective.
And honestly, if
The
you just
address
had a
is 748
gas
North
leak
Oxford Avenue,
instead
Wilshire.
of fires,
Anything else?
you could
Messages,
still have
please.
killed a lot of people
You have a message.
without
Contact Captain
as
McKelty immediately.
Thanks. Can you put me through, operator?
Of course.
without
Here you are.
destroying the house. Then you could have bought the
Commander?
house
Blades on the
cheap.
fire.
We're about to go and visit Elysian Fields Developments.
You're about to do what? Leland Monroe. He's a personal friend of the mayor and the chief. Are you out of your mind? I'm warning you, Phelps.
Commander, we have a line of inquiry.
You have something, you bring it to me. You're hanging by a thread, Phelps. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. Have a report on my desk today.
So they all want daily reports.
Kelty has warned us off over Elysian.
Makes sense. It's a dead end. We should check out Rancho Escondido.
You know the place?
Sure. Corner of Fountain and Wilton. Let's go.
So the game seems like they specifically are saying I can't do the line of investigation I want to do. And it still feels like there's some collectible here. But if I was to do intuition points and show all clues, there's nothing I can do. So let's go to Rancho Escondido next. Or let's go do a side quest. Doesn't seem like there is one, so just have the guy drive me.
You're behind the wheel.
So how can we investigate this case, really? If if the Elysian Field and Leland Monroe angle is forbidden.
You know, there are times when you really miss a nightstick. There's more religion in the end of a nightstick than in 100 cathedrals.
So
I'm not gonna tell you again, sir.
Don't tell me when and how I can come and go on my own property.
It is not
This is
safe,
America,
sir.
dickhead.
Now step back, or I'll lock you up for a
Smart
fray.
mouth son of a bitch.
Come on,
seriously? Who are all these guys?
Black and blue.
Where did this riot come from?
You're going down.
Being damn foolish, soldier.
That ended bloody. And we're back to the brawling mechanic, a pointless mechanic, unnecessary, and frankly, it's not in line with what police should have been doing in the 40s. It's not in line with what police should be doing now, and it's not in line with what they were
Good thing
doing.
you showed up when you did, detectives.
Hey, they actually
Those folks were
animated
banned for
handcuffs
blood.
for that scene. Like, of all the sadly large amount of video I have seen of police violence, I have never seen them put up their dukes and fight like a boxing. I have seen them tackle, I have seen them chokehold, I have seen them run at people. They don't have a tendency to kick. I've seen them strangle, I've seen them mostly taser and shoot people. But just putting up your fists in a fair fight seems not something they do. So this is weird because these were the GI houses, I think. The new houses that got burnt. This looks like new grass. And this looks like new construction. So my thought is maybe the firebug who was the arsonist who may have been working for somebody to get people to sell their houses is now taking retribution by burning houses that are replacements. Interesting. A brick is loose.
Mortar is like dust. Is that normal in a fire?
You'd expect some shrinkage in the heat, but it looks like the cement barely adhered to the brick. Doesn't appear to be any wall ties either. This thing looks like it was built on the cheap.
So the house was built cheaply and then burnt down for insurance.
If we're paying a visit to Elysian and ruining my career, let's bite the bullet and get on with it.
So the con just keeps going and going. The doctor sold stolen morphine to fund building houses, then burnt down the houses to get insurance. He just does not stop. Like, you can probably have just made a decent amount of money using the stolen morphine to build houses, and to need or want to be even greedier than that is crazy. And I missed something at the Morel house, but I couldn't care. Like, I really could not care enough. Are we gonna get a street crime? I guess not. So we're going to Elysian Fields.
Can you drive to this one?
Just save time. Cut through all the driving. There easily would have been a 2.5 hours of extra time of just driving if you drove everywhere and took your time and was very careful with it. Were very careful with it. So now we've got a fancy architectural building that we're gonna go get in trouble talking to these people if we're not careful. Probably get in trouble talking to them no matter
Detectives
what.
Phelps and Biggs, LAPD, to see Leland Monroe.
Do you have an appointment?
We're the police, lady. We don't need an appointment.
Can I tell him what it's about?
It's an official investigation.
There are 2 police officers here to see Mr. Monroe.
Send them through.
And that's our cue. Thanks, ma'am.
Let's take a moment to look
Come to California to be a
at all of these files.
You sure that's not that crazy cop that almost ran me over?
I saw his picture in the paper. He worked that case with the lady that got cut up like
Let's
a
get moving.
I gotta have it.
I didn't think specific characters would
Or
say
you just crack.
would say I tried to run them over. And restrooms on the marble walls.
some people.
Nice big piece of art. We didn't see a lot of art except for in the museum.
I wonder how many more.
I would like to speak to Mr. Monroe.
I'm afraid it's impossible. Mr. Monroe's schedule is booked weeks in advance.
Cut to the chase, sister. Is he in?
I'm not at liberty to reveal that, officer.
So he hired you for your intelligence?
I find that offensive.
You have every right to.
This is getting us nowhere, miss.
Casino.
Would you like us to return with a warrant?
That won't be necessary, gentlemen. Come into my office.
Oh, this is that guy. He's a TV sci-fi actor.
Like a cigar. Drink, boy.
Sure, I'll have a scotch.
Biggs.
So when you see his face, you might recognize him if you watch a bunch of TV and sci-fi shows. He's rather an old-looking, distinguished man, but I still have to say I really hate this. I hate the idea that so much budget was put on getting famous famous actors to act and have their faces scanned in the game versus the traditional video game voice actors who could have
domestic fires, Mr. Monroe.
probably done more work
Terrible.
for less money.
How can I help?
It's not even really a good face scan of the guy, although he is definitely recognizable. Excuse me. Got something in my throat today. Let's look up at him. He's a lot. He looks older now. It's been a few years.
Can we speed this up a little?
Let's ask this question.
Elysian Fields and Suburban Redevelopment Fund flyers keep turning up in the vicinity of the fires.
They're turning up all over town, boys. Can you imagine?
Look at how his
the
eyes
current
are
housing?
almost completely
That's your
closed.
explanation, Mr. Monroe? Coincidence?
Explanation? Why, what's to explain? I advertise on radio and billboards for buyers, and I advertise for sellers using waybill.
I'm gonna say truth.
What's your connection to the Suburban Redevelopment Fund?
An organization of civic-minded individuals whose goal is to make the city a better place for its inhabitants. Something I was proud to be asked to join.
So I was wrong. So look at his eyes. They're barely open at all. And I imagine that is because of the facial scan technology. And there is this thing about Rockstar and how they kind of just photos referenced a famous person in their advertisement in the next game. So they, in this game, they went from hiring famous people and using them kind of as endorsements to just kind of copying them. And GTA doesn't have any recognizable actors or faces, really.
What do you know about a competition for families to win free vacations?
So they
to
kind of did a
Catalina Island?
180.
My company runs many promotions. I'm not familiar with that one.
Can we catch him on anything? Or should we just say truth on everything? Let's go with
Travel Agent has
this.
a list of the winners. 3 of the names on that list have had their houses burnt to the ground.
And how many names on the list have not had a fire?
I don't know.
You wouldn't make much of a lawyer, detective. If you're gonna rely on statistics, then you better get them straight.
So that was wrong too. So apparently I am supposed to accuse this guy, even though storyline wise it might make sense to be kinder to him.
He's made offers to buy houses in areas where fires have been recorded.
Are you suggesting that I'm burning people out of their homes so that I can sell them new ones?
What happens to your plans if a family like the Morellis refuses to sell?
We work around them. Business finds a way. That's the American way.
Yeah, as far as the development, it really wouldn't stop too much to just build a house next to another house and some high fences and just block out all the views of the old houses if you really find them that objectionable.
So it's for the greater good then. One man standing in defiance of what you think is best for the city. I thought an American's home was their castle.
I'm not sure I like your tone, son.
I've just said truth to every single one of them, and it's still being aggressive with him.
What's Elysian Fields' involvement in Rancho Escondido?
One of our latest housing developments. It was due to open on the weekend, or was before the unfortunate conflagration.
It met with building code regulations.
Absolutely. Only the best for our returning heroes.
I think I can go ahead and call that a lie. Let's not mess these all up.
Bro. There's something out of kilter about that development.
Son, I've had enough of you and your fidgety friend. There's no way in hell you can prove that my materials were inferior.
His eyes are closed.
I'm no expert, but I think we'll find that the bricks being used on those houses are undersized and the mortar is faulty.
And there's no wall ties connecting the masonry to the frame.
Every building is built to a budget, boys. Those buildings were inspected and fully insured by California Fire and Life.
And that's the hint that we were going to go investigate.
Do you think that they'd vouch for the buildings without examining them?
We need something to go on. Otherwise, more people will get hurt and you'll keep losing houses.
You know what? I should have probably
Well,
just messed up that one too to see if something happened.
The contractors I used for waivers. Suppose it might be one of them. I have a list of their names if it'll be of any help. My secretary will provide you with the list. On your way out.
So, yeah, I don't think we're going to get any more information.
Glad to be of help, officers.
What's the story? Any of these names ring a bell?
Let's see. Isn't Herbert Chairman somebody?
Herbert Chapman is on this list.
Chapman?
Find the phone. We need to know where we're at with Chapman.
And so we've got to go make a phone call. Where
Boss
is
is
the
a
phone?
fine man.
Where
I
is
was
the
walking down
phone?
the street and that heel sent me flying.
Do any of these phones work?
Be a secretary.
I guess any of them do.
It's a 5-star goddamn wedding.
Operator, give me dispatch.
Interesting.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, badge 1247.
It's kind of odd. He doesn't dial a zero yet to dial phones.
Let me find out for you.
Like, it seems like that's a disconnect.
This morning, detective. I'm sorry, detective.
Not your fault. Can you give me a last known address and put out an APB on the guy?
I'll get back to you, detective. APB will go out over KGPL shortly.
Thanks.
Like, by the time the phones had the dialing ability, the phone system, I think, was at auto switching, so you couldn't have picked up the phone, and just said operator and talked to an operator. So it seems just like they didn't do enough research. I see no reason why Cole should be here. And I see no reason why he should come back in the picture.
Cole? No. Not even for old time's sake?
Not even for that.
You're not gonna ask me why I'm here?
I wouldn't give you the pleasure. We'll get around to it.
She's in fine voice this evening. I wonder how the commander would feel
Save
about...
the threats for someone who cares about them, Roy.
You're breaking my heart, Cole. You know how I feel about you.
What was he? Was he drinking without the glasses?
Stay away from Elysian Fields.
I should have known that you were playing errand boy.
You and your doofus partner. You have been warned.
Thanks for your cooperation, officer.
I love you.
Stay away. You have no idea the type of people that are involved in that
I
company.
have a pretty good idea, Roy. The same kind of people that sent you here.
Your investigation is finished. Homicide will be taking over from here. I've heard we've had a spate of grass fires in the hills that you and that hunchback might be able to handle. Thanks for the drink, Cole.
So it seems odd that Cole is still dealing with Elsa.
Yeah, Earl delivered it.
You?
The Kelty. He started making noises about my pension.
Sorry about that, Murphy. I didn't mean to drag you into this.
Save it, Phelps. Monroe's an asswipe. And so was Earl. And so was McKelty when it's all said and done.
So this guy's gonna work with us anyways.
KGPL calling car 11K.
11K, go ahead.
11K, the last known address of suspect Herbert Chapman is 650 North Kingsley Drive in Wilshire.
Roger that, KGPL. 11K en route.
Let's go pick him up.
So we've got our next address. We can pull up the map here and see if there's a crime right now, but clearly there isn't.
Sugarloaf, didn't it?
I did. But I don't like to talk about it.
You come across a guy called Jack Kelso out that way?
You know Jack Kelso?
He's an insurance investigator over at California Fire and Life. Our paths cross from time to time. For some reason, seeing you makes me think of him.
Has Jack spoken to you about his experiences on Sugarloaf? Or the rest of the campaign?
Jack keeps stum just like you do. I know what it feels like to get back from conflict.
I'm
You gotta
stuck.
respect that.
Stuck trying to make a left turn here. Just doing a legal U-turn. And try not to run into anybody. So, the weird thing here is Jack Kelso, being an investigator for the fire insurance, has this opportunity in which he could also have been the main character of some of these cases. And if I'm remembering correctly, there's either a DLC or a mission we're going to do where we actually play as him, probably after this, if I was to give a random guess. Now, maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but a lot of things have come flooding back. This game has a moderately simplistic stories, I would say. There's about 3 of them. I don't know why the radio is on in the police car. But there's about 3 or 4 stories going on. But they're all rather simplistic. There's a bit of a twist in the Black Dahlia murders at the end, and there's certainly a plot going on here with the arson and the homicides. Well, the Vice stuff was part of the same plot. It becomes this really, really long plot, which inherently puts the Black Dahlia murders as the odd man out, since everything else seems to be connected. And I don't know if it isn't going to be a case where Jack Kelso becomes the good guy in this story. Cole started off as the good guy, but he's not really proving himself to be the best at it. Let's just pass on the wrong side of the road. Just cannot turn off the radio. I should have just gotten out and had the game drive me there. This is such a huge waste of time. And it's only going to get the people who are familiar with LA, the video game critics, the video game journalists, to love this game. Whereas the vast majority of people who aren't in LA, the actual people that you're trying to sell the game to, don't have this infatuation with the street layout of LA. We don't really even have a real love of the layout of Manhattan, but at the very least that's an iconic layout that's also grid-based, which makes it rather easy to drive around. at least through most of Midtown. And this took forever.
Tomorrow is a busy day. We got things to do. We got eggs to lay. We got ground to dig and words to scratch.
Find where I'm supposed to be.
Chicks to hash. Ain't nobody here but us chicken.
We're looking for Herbert Chapman.
I'm looking for him too. I need him to move his car so I can mow the lawn.
He's definitely not here.
I've been banging on his door off and on for a couple of hours. Yeah, he's out somewhere. There's some kind
Let's
of problem.
take a look at the car.
Let's see what he's hauling around.
So it looks like Chapman has gone
Gives him opportunity.
Has gone off the radar, and he's burning down the wrong buildings than who he's supposed to be. And I guess the mosquito repellents here don't
Motive, opportunity, and hard evidence.
I guess you snap those in half and it disconnects into two. I guess they don't leave any residue or anything. Of course, nobody makes mosquito repellents like that.
We should revise the APB.
He's got 8 bullets. Interesting. If you're gonna load a gun, why not keep the rest of the bullets in your pocket?
Hold it, Cole. There he is. It's Chapman. He's coming out of the laundromat. Shit. He's seen us.
Remember that laundromat
again
we saw?
Son of a bitch. He must have caught the trolley. We gotta move fast, Cole.
Well, how are we gonna crash into the trolley?
I'll call this in. Get some cars dispatched.
You can't. The trolley's not gonna stop. Nobody's gonna pull an emergency
in
cutoff.
pursuit of suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar, currently heading east on Melrose Avenue. Advise all units. Suspect is in
Instead,
control
it's
of
just
car and
crashing
driving
into other
dangerously.
cars. I guess maybe he hijacked the trolley, telling him to keep on driving. There's like nothing I can do. There's really nothing I can do. Like I can pound on the back of this all I want. He's just gonna go forward. And he's just gonna crash into everything.
See if he can damage one of the wheels. Might act like a brake and slow the thing down.
So maybe now I can stop him.
Get me just a little closer.
There we go.
End of the line, you little prick. Come on, Cole.
So there is a way to take him down, I guess. I wasn't expecting a fight there. Well, I seriously don't want to do that again.
We gotta move fast, Cole. I'll call this in. Get some cars dispatched. Car 11K calling KGPL.
Speed up this processing.
11K requesting assistance. In pursuit of suspect aboard the 1110 University streetcar, currently heading east on Melrose Avenue. Advise all units. Suspect is in control of car and driving dangerously.
So yeah, no amount of damage you do here is gonna stop anything. This is all scripted. This is all exactly how it's gonna happen. The fire truck pulling out.
See if you can damage one of the wheels. Might act like a brake and slow the thing down.
And smash.
Don't let me hanging out here, Phelps. Move in.
And again, it's raining and dark.
Get me closer to the driver's
because they
cabin.
want it to be raining and dark.
End of the line, you little prick. Come on, Cole.
Where is he?
Looks like we have our man, Cole. Well done.
I'm not so sure. Chapman seemed to have his own agenda. There seems to be more to this than a personal vendetta.
What are you talking about?
Fires benefit Elysian in some way. I don't see Chapman and Monroe working together.
You have a point. The evidence is good for Chapman. Hard to be worrying about his side of the story when he's blasting away with that big 45.
The hell kind of desk do you think I'm running here, Phelps? You think you can waltz around this city starting riots, harassing pillars of the community, and wantonly destroying the property of the LA Transit Authority? I don't care if you're not happy slumming it in this squad. You either get yourself squared away or hand in your goddamn badge. You're on street duty until further notice. Get out of my sight!
So this is like the 4th or 5th time that they've been yelled at, and he's been potentially demoted. I mean, can they not just do something normal, like, oh, I don't know, suspend him for real?
What is it?
A letter from Lou. His insurance policy named me beneficiary.
California Fire and Life. You worked for Elysian?
The roof that he was working on collapsed.
It's a very generous settlement. Elsa, I'd like you to do something for me. I think there's something dirty about Elysian Fields.
What has that got to do with Lou?
I want you to reject
I don't even
the
know who Lou
I
is.
want you to go and see an investigator named Jack Kelso and ask him to make some inquiries about Lou's case.
Isn't this police work?
Do you want to find out what happened to Lou?
We don't even know who Lou is.
Kelso.
Jack won't be able to help himself if he smells a rat.
He's a friend of yours?
He hates my guts. Elsa, you could take this money and let them get away with it, or we could get Jack's help and do something about it.
Why not be honest with this man, Cole? He deserves your honesty if you want his help.
Believe me, Elsa, I'd like to level with him. I really would, but it's too late. Years too late.
And that's the end of this case. And I did not too much vehicle damage or city damage. I guess vehicle damage is damage I take to my own personal vehicle, whereas city damage is damage I do to other vehicles. I missed 3 questions, but I got all the clues, and that still only gave me a 2-star rating. Chapman takes his motive and any possible ties to Monroe and the Elysian Fields to the grave. Maybe there was some way I could have convinced him to put the gun down? If there is, the game never explained any system like that. And like I was saying, I think we're going to play as Jack Kelso in this case. Because certainly Cole is not available to do anything helpful right now. And you could do like 1 or 2 missions as Jack, but unless he
Sign on the door says miss.
went from investigator of fire and life to private detective, it's not gonna work. Let's see. Luis Juan Buckwalder, a person we never knew existed.
There's no need to come into the office, Miss Lichtman. If you accept the settlement, all you need to do is sign here.
I don't accept the
What do you mean you don't accept? I think you're pushing your luck, lady. This seems to be a ridiculously generous settlement. A $200 policy with a $20,000 payout? You should...
I don't want the money.
What do you mean you don't want the money?
I want you to investigate this case. I feel my friend may have been the victim of foul play.
Okay. Let me get the case file.
So, Jack Kelso as a person, I think we can say he's a good guy. I think Cole and Kelso are probably moderately good guys. Let's see.
There's got to be more in these files.
And then we're doing this stupid finger pointing interaction. $900 for the insurance. So the entire amount of the
Sounds like your friend took a hell of a fall. Sorry for your loss.
And I can't even do the finger thing here. All I can do is scroll back up. So if the entire house is only worth $900, and well, look, the valuation of the house was $3,500, 1947, and they were only willing to pay $900 on it. That seems really ridiculously bad. Interesting, I can't finger click on the second floor at all. So what am I supposed to be clicking on? Like, is he supposed to be doing calculations on these, on everything? Like, I've clicked on every single thing here. If there's a clue, I don't see it.
Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Of course not.
So he's gonna ask some questions, and he's got this investigating journal too. And then certainly things are going to get weird now. So we've done 18 story cases as Cole. Now we're going to play as Kelso for at least one, which would be 19, which only gives you 2 more cases to wrap up the whole thing. And it seems pretty obvious that all of these cases are going to be very linear and very connected. There's 6 more street crimes, so maybe we can get those done now. Maybe we have to wait till we beat the whole game. And it opens up its open world free play mode for what little that is worth. And skipping over everything else, let's see, we're 76% done with the game according to their metrics. But skipping over everything else, 24 hours and 10 minutes. Wow. Wow. Well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.